1981. John Carpenter releases the movie Escape from New York, starring Kurt Russell, Lee Van Cleef, Ernest Borgnine, and Harry Dean Stanton. The city of St. Louis, with areas damaged by fire, was chosen to stand in for Manhattan. In the film, Manhattan had become a walled prison island due to massive increases in crime. St. Louis has had its own real-life issues with violent crime. The plan: visit the filming locations, line up the shots, and get out.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Going to the Movies. We are Ryan and Virginia, and we like to visit filming locations from our favorite movies. Right now, we're doing one of my favorite 80s sci-fi movies. Very early 80s, very low budget, relatively. It was the biggest budget movie ever filmed in St. Louis at the time. It was also the biggest budget that John Carpenter had to work with at the time. And it is Escape from New York. Why'd they film that in St. Louis? We'll get into it. But we're gonna show you all the spots, give you some fun facts, give you some details. First, like and subscribe. Let's go see some spots. Man, it is so cool to be standing right here. The helipad, not the helipad, the helicopter landing was right here, where they came in to retrieve the president, Lee Van Cleef and his guys. And they failed to do so. But we'll get to where that was filmed. Just wanted to show you this. If you want to line this angle up perfectly, and you come out here, stand just like to the right of this manhole cover, because what you can do is see that this corner is blocking this building. There are 4 of these big windows at the bottom that are showing in that shot, and there's about 4.5 on this building, which is blocked off by this corner. So yeah, here's where the helicopters landed, and then the guys and Lee Van Cleef took off in this direction, which looks a little bit different today, mainly because that building down there, which was right to the side of this brick one, is now gone. But let's go down and match up a few things from the president's pod. So this corner right here is, I think, where the president's pod was. I don't want to say for sure because there's no telling, but part of the corner of that building had crumbled and they put the pod right into it. And I think it was right here because it just makes sense for where that shot was taken and where they walked from. But here's the other clue. There's still like parts of crumbled wall here. And you can see it goes out in this direction before they made this flooring. So I think it was right in here. Yeah, that's pretty neat. I wonder if you could match that up from any shots. Probably not, because it's all done from this side. But some more stuff we see over here. This is where we get to see Romero for the first time. One of my favorite characters. He comes out of that thing, approaches Lee Van Cleef somewhere around here. It says,
"You touch me, he dies. If you're not in the air in 30 seconds, he dies. If you come back in, he dies."
And then he says, and so they run off. Later, Kurt Russell's down here, and we get some other angles. Now, there was a building right here, and you'll see that from the other side when I show you those shot matchups. All right, so first, when we see Kurt Russell coming and walking through here, we see him coming this direction down the street. You can see that building. It's kind of like a paneling built into the bricks here. And there's 3 showing to the left of the corner of that building. And so that's how we can match that up. If we go a little bit farther back to where this garage is, where, oh, Virginia, I thought you were dead. This corner, where we see the part where Romero comes out, we can match up a couple other things. Okay, this is the shot. So the corner of the building was right here, and Snake Plissken was hiding around this corner. You can see this building still in the background with 2 of those panels showing. And then we get some crazies coming out, and look, these manhole covers is where they come out of. And they were actually hiding in there. There were extras down in there. I found an article of one of the extras describing his time hanging out down in the manhole cover. Of course, they did not use actual covers because that would be way too heavy for anyone to lift to get out of there. So they actually put wooden covers here. But I think it was these 2, if you look at the angle where the storm drain is. So Kurt Russell, he was begging to be in this movie. He wanted to be Snake Plissken so bad because he was trying desperately to get rid of the Disney image that he had at that point in his career. And when he first comes out onto the streets of New York, Manhattan, in the movie, he walks down this direction. Now, we see in this little area here some rubble and some fires burning, and now that's a very nice little patio for the Schlafly Brewing tap room over here. And then he walks down in this direction where you can see those 4 windows that they were boarded up at the time. And now here's what's really cool. All the buildings still in the background, the same as they were when they filmed. And this was where the plane wreckage was, over in that gravel lot, which is apparently going to become a parking lot for the new soccer stadium, which is being built right behind me. So congrats to St. Louis for getting a soccer team. I'm assuming that's what happened. Not that they're just getting a new stadium. But yeah, so we see this building here with that corner door, very visible. This building was standing, this building was here, and this one, which is blocked out by trees, was here. So we'll go walk over and look at the plane wreckage because he takes a right up at the end of this street. All right, here's another perspective of the corner I was just looking at. We walked around here, so that's Schlafly. And then you see the building with the corner door, and the plane wreckage was right here. So he walks up and he comes across looking at everything. And then he walks in this direction across the street, and he stops, I believe, to make a call to Chock back at home base. And what's interesting is you can see that building in the background. You can also see him standing next to this pole, and if that's not the same one, it's still interesting that they used the same streetlight poles, because it's that hexagonal style. One thing I didn't expect to see today is bunny rabbits. This is the second one I've seen. Oh, there he goes. Hey, bunny rabbit. Gotta love some animal visits while you're out shooting a YouTube video. So we're now at the Fox Theater where Snake Plissken goes to find the president. The tracker leads him there, and you see him walk across this way. All these columns with the brick pattern visible behind him, though there's a much nicer restaurant here on the corner, and there's the Fox Theater. So if I can line this angle up properly, I'll try here. Alright, so here's that opposite, well, not opposite, but on the other side we get the angle here. Low to the ground, you can see the street, him walking in to find the president. Okay, check this out. Pretty awesome. The box office still exactly the same as it was back when it was like run down in the early 80s. When they filmed here, you see Snake Plissken walk up right here. He's trying to figure out how he's going to get inside. Somebody walks out of this door and he uses his gun to keep it open so that he can go in. And this is where he enters inside, and then all those interiors shot elsewhere in Los Angeles. All right, the chock full of nuts scene, you remember it. It's got Kurt Russell's then wife gets sucked through the floor by the crazies, and he has to escape them all. So he runs up to the building and comes out of the back. All that filmed in California, except for the rear of the building. Now, I'm not sure if that window that he comes out of was specifically done here. I couldn't match that one up. But there used to be a wall up, or they put it up for the movie, right over here. And when he jumps down, you got to really pay attention to what's in the background to know that this is the right spot. But you see these 3 windows. The spacing here gives this away, the 2 and that one, and then you see just the bottom of this like elevated garage door thing, this like drop-off spot. And then you remember he makes his way down an alley. That is this alley right here, which looks a lot longer in the movie, but you can see they match up where the ledges are on the left and the right side, and then at the end is the same shot where he runs into Cabby. Okay, unfortunately I couldn't walk you down the alley because it's gated closed right now, but the giveaway that this was the end spot where he was standing is the corner of this building, which still matches up. And he came right through this way, and Cabby pulled up right here. Now we're right right outside of what was the New York Public Library in the movie. And in real life, this was a Masonic Temple, which they do not use the building anymore. They put it up for sale several years ago. But this is about the perspective where we see Cabby and Snake walking in to go find the Duke, where they come across Brain for the first time. So let's cross the street and match up one other angle when they're at the door. Yeah, it seems like no one's purchased it yet. Or if they have, they've sold it as well, because the doors are gone now and they're just boarded up. But this angle here, let's see if I can match this up right. We see this flower pattern here on the left side of that frame, and then the column right there that Kurt Russell's leaning against is right here to the right. So this is about the shot where they are waiting at the door before she comes out. And one more angle right here where the bad guys pull up. Look at how that thing in the center of the stairs with the Mason symbol just in front of this column, and then these side parts to the stairs. I don't know what to call those, but where the stones are laid, still matching up today. Pretty interesting history to this building on its own besides the movie filming here. Harry Truman had an office in here. He was like one of the higher ups in the Freemasons before he was president. Also, Charles Lindbergh was initiated in this building into the Freemasons.
We had to find a place that looked ruined, so we found the perfect location, and that was St. Louis, Missouri. We had a great deal with the city. They let us shut down the street lights, they let us light, they let us set fires, they let us put a crashed plane. I mean, we couldn't have gotten more cooperation.
So it looks perfect to stand in for a dystopian kind of Manhattan prison island. And a lot of the areas look very similar. We're basically just matching up patterns on buildings and things like that. So if I do get some things wrong, I apologize as far as scene descriptions go. But right before they go into the library, you see them drive down this alleyway, and you can see these gray squares. Those still match up. This building obviously looks the same. Then that one back there where the columns are kind of striped looking at the bottom, you can actually see that in the movie. It's really hard to see the two in the background. It looks like one building. Assuming those are the same, it's kind of hard to tell. But behind the tree, those brick buildings. One other scene that happens here, if I'm remembering correctly, is the stealing of the yellow car when they get in that station wagon. He knocks those two guys out and they drive off in that direction. So now we are at the site of the car wall that Kurt Russell turns around and backs the station wagon through. I think it was about right here where the cars were stacked up. But when they pull up, you can see that building back there with those big windows. You can see a gray building that used to stand here, which is now, looks like another parking lot for the new MLS stadium, but that building's been gone for a while. And then as you come across, you can see the three panels. When he busts through, you see these archways with the dots, and then they drive off in this direction where you see these buildings. Now, interesting thing about this spot is that parking lot is the plane wreckage. This is the Schlafly Tap Room. So it kind of seems far away, but they just shot it right around the corner. All right, we are now at Grand Central Station, or what was supposed to be Grand Central Station in the movie, where the trains were sitting. Now, there's a bunch of trains sitting over there on tracks. It's just kind of like a thing you can walk up to and look. The train station doesn't run anymore. In fact, this whole area is now a parking lot, an entertainment area. You can see it's an aquarium over here. They got a lot of carnival type things over there, a Ferris wheel right back there. So they turned this place into a pretty cool little spot. Now here's my best guess for the shot I'm about to show you, because now they built the parking lot. It appears that maybe the train tracks were through here, because this this roof kind of thing still matches the same general shape of what was over the trains in the movie. and there were vertical posts right behind that train closest to the camera. There are none behind these. So I believe, I don't even want to say I believe, it's just a guess that that train was running along here back when there were more tracks going under this shelter. Now I will take you over here because the train setup looks very similar to the way it did in the movie. So yeah, this is kind of the way this is set up, reminiscent of Escape from New York. Not the exact angle, but very familiar looking. And the other side was locked, so I couldn't walk through, but I came down to the other end to look at it. They do find the president in one of the trains. But again, my guess as to where the train was, where they filmed, somewhere in that area. Okay, so if you come back down these steps, this is the back of the lobby of the hotel. You will get here, which is another shot from the movie when they're leaving the train station. You see them heading over to this archway, and there was like another kind of thing sticking out here. That's no longer there, but the windows are still there matching up. All right, guys, we are in the Station Grill at the Union Station Hotel in St. Louis. And I got to give a huge shout out to Brian from Reel to Reel Locations. Check out his blog. Without that, I would not have known that the link room was used in the movie. I will link to his blog down below, by the way. He does great work, and he is all over the place all the time. So lots of new movies being added there all the time. But look, you probably already recognize it. This is where they were holding the president when he had the blonde wig on. So actually, let me go back. Right about here is the shot where we see Romero talking to Harry Dean Stanton, Brain, and he wants to come in so that he can get cyanide out of the seams of the president's clothes, which is just a ploy to get into the room. So we go in here, and the president is being held right here where this glassware is, with the blonde wig on. And we see him sitting here from this angle. Now this is where Brain stabs Romero, right there, and you see the column in the background. In the corner there, wallpaper, obviously changed. You got to change it from that striped stuff that was there before, but you also see this part of the mantelpiece here as he's being killed. One other thing you can recognize in this room is when, and by the way, I'm really terrible at, I can remember actors and locations and things like that. One thing I'm really bad at is character names. And so the girl, I cannot remember her name, but she was standing right here and she had the gun. Let me back up even more so that I can show you a screenshot right where she was. So yeah, comment down below because I forgot her name. Or I could just look it up on IMDb. Okay, so back in this back corner, I believe this is the column we're seeing. Now there's a bunch of them, but they come out of that door over there. So I think this is the one you see, and I'm over here all the way in the corner because you see these three panels to the side. Now there's a wine cellar here, so you can't see the doors back there. But this is about where we saw him exit, and then there was a guy watching them from behind this column right here, but I can't walk straight there because there's a wall. This part also elevated now, so let me take a couple steps down and get that shot line up. So yeah, this is where the guy was standing, hiding behind this column, assuming I got my columns right. I just realized I'm standing right behind their POS system and where they keep their utensils and things, their extra stuff. So I'll go out of here just in case they don't want me back here. But yeah, this restaurant is so nice now. It'd be a great like evening dinner if you wanted to make a whole experience out of the Escape from New York locations. And back there is the Station Grill, or the Link Room rather. And this whole thing is the Station Grill. This was another area where they shot a scene of them walking. You can see the arched entryway there, and these on the sides, the windows to the left, leading to the outside. So yeah, wallpaper's different. Okay, here's the lobby of the Union Station Hotel where they filmed the gladiator scene where Kurt Russell fights the big bald guy. Here's one of the angles we see right here. Now, if you remember, the Duke was up in one of these openings here. I think it was the one directly in the center. So that's about that shot right there, where we see them watching the fight, just like Romans. Now we get a couple other angles out here of the ring, but I'm going to show you this whole room first. It is huge. Look how high the ceiling is. It is so gorgeous in here. I mean, this is one of those showstopper locations. So definitely come here for a visit. It looks like they've turned the lobby into the restaurant area. I wonder if it's a COVID thing or something like that. But let's go line up that one other shot of the ring. Oh, it just got really dark. So let me redo my settings. I'm not sure what's about to happen here. Okay, and here's one other angle that we get when he's holding up the shield and defending himself from the baseball bat with the nail sticking out, and then another angle in this direction. And you see those three archways and say hello to the people. Okay, we just got kicked out of the hotel because apparently they're using that lobby as a restaurant right now. So people were wondering what I was doing, grabbing cameras out of suspicious looking book bags and stuff, but that was pretty amazing what they were doing on the ceiling there, man. I didn't see that coming at all. Just one of those kind of fun things that happens when you explore some of these locations. Okay, we made it to the Illinois side of the old Chain of Rocks Bridge. And I have to say that the mosquitoes over here are the size of rats. They are huge. You can feel them biting you. And I'm gonna walk around because there's just a swarm around me. But this is the side where the guys went in. This was not the side with the wall. Now, St. Louis was standing in for Manhattan, so you would think that the Illinois side would be where the wall would be if it, you know, made sense with the location. But actually, this 1980 news article explains that the wall was built on the Missouri side. The Skeeters, man. So that means that apparently there used to be a ramp leading up to this bridge, and there was a brick building somewhere about this area. So I'm gonna show you what I think is an approximation. Pardon all the like shaking and the trying to get mosquitoes off me as I'm recording this. They're monsters over here. Okay, so we would have to walk all the way to the other end to match up certain shots. I'm not going to do that today because we're going to run out of daylight and then have to walk back across this sketchy bridge at night. But there are approximations that we can do because it looks the same across the whole thing. You know, like there's no way to pinpoint exactly where it was unless the wall is seen or something like that. But let's go match up one or two things just using the structure itself. Okay, it seems we've escaped from the swarm of gigantic Jumanji level mosquitoes. Wait, I can hear one. Okay, it's gone. Okay, we'll use this spot right here to line up the shot of the Duke firing his gun. I think it's right after he runs over the girl, which he would have been standing about right here in front of this vertical thing here. So that's an approximation of that shot. Was not, at least I'm pretty sure it wasn't filmed on this side of the bridge, but just kind of showing you, just for the sake of it, since we're on this bridge. I mean, it's unmistakably the Escape from New York bridge. Look at this. All right, that's gonna do it for Escape from New York locations. What a fun one to do. Ah, geez, the mosquitoes, man. I'm just gonna like run as I do this. Really fun locations to do. You can knock them out pretty quickly if you're into this sort of thing. And I would say other than maybe the bridge entrances, not the most sketchy areas, you know. We didn't really feel uncomfortable too much today. I mean, you're in a downtown area, you always got to use caution. God, these skeeters. 3 big thank yous I want to say. Steve from the movie Ninja, I think that's his Instagram name. If not, I'll put it down below and in the description. Well, if it is, I'll do the same thing. Also, thank you to Brian from Reel to Reel Locations. Link to his blog down below. And thanks to a website I can't remember the name of. It's like an Escape from New York and Los Angeles fan site. They have a bunch of information about the locations. If you want to come visit these, I recommend using them as a resource. But don't forget to like and subscribe. We are heading back out on the road for more videos, so we'll see you next time.